1975, Chapter 231. An adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a notice sent to the Asbury Park Press, the Two River Times, posted in the main lobby of the municipal website, municipal building, as well as the municipal website. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Portman, absent. Greg Fitzgerald.
Here.
Thomas Welsh, absent. Christina Bonatakis.
Here.
Dan Mancuso.
Here.
Louis Demento, absent. Barbara Boas, absent. Megan Massey. Here. Wilson Beebe.
Here.
Itzel Hernandez. Here. Frederick Stone.
Here.
Brian Barnett Gian.
Here.
Again.
Okay, we've done the oath of offices. Relatively short meeting tonight. We have a reorganization first. That's our first meeting of the new year. Welcome everyone to 2024. It's always fun to have another year. First up, we need a motion for chairperson. Would someone like to make?
I would move for Dan to be reappointed as chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
Was it Itzel?
Yep.
Roll call.
Jesus.
Christina Bonatakis.
Yes.
Dan Mancuso.
Yes.
Louis Demento. Oh, sorry, he's not here. Megan Massey.
Yes.
Wilson Beebe.
Yes.
Itzel Hernandez.
Yes.
Frederick Stone.
Yes.
Brian Barnigan.
Yes. Thank you all. We have a motion for vice chair.
I hear so.
Anyone have a motion?
To have a recommendation, Mr. Chair.
I don't. I'm fine, I'm all for anyone having a motion that they want. If there isn't, I'll make one, but I'm happy for anyone to make a motion for vice chair. I don't miss a lot of meetings. There's not a lot to do. It's not really a heavy lift.
It's a light.
It's a light lift. Well, there's little to do. I'd be happy to, if you'll accept, Wilson, I'd be happy to nominate you as vice chair. If you're interested.
Sure, I can commit to that.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
It's. Go ahead and do the vote.
Christina Bonatakis.
Yes.
Dan Mancuso.
Yes.
Barbara Boas. Megan Massey.
Yes.
Wilson Beebe.
Yes.
Itzel Hernandez.
Yes.
Frederick Stone.
Yes.
Brian Barnigan.
Yes. For board secretary. Alini.
That's a lead.
Okay, Alini, I'd be happy to nominate you as board secretary. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Christina Bonatakis.
Yes.
Dan Mancuso.
Yes.
Megan Massey.
Yes.
Wilson Beebe.
Yes.
Itzel Hernandez.
Yes.
Frederick Stone.
Yes.
Brian Barnigan.
Yes. Thank you. For board attorney, I'd be happy to nominate Mike Lexstein, not just because he was the only person to submit an RFP. But not notwithstanding, I'd nominate Mike Lex, the firm of Lexstein and Lexstein, because every 5 or 10 years we get Mark in here. Do we have a second?
Enthusiastically second.
Yes.
Christina Bonatakis.
Yes.
Dan Mancuso.
Yes.
Megan Massey.
Yes.
Wilson Beebe.
Yes.
Itzel Hernandez.
Yes.
Frederick Stone.
Yes.
Brian Barnigan.
Yes. For board engineer, while we received probably more RFPs than we have ever in years, I still am a very big fan of T&M and their industrial and knowledge of our town for the last 40 years. To me is priceless, and I would make a motion for T&M to be the board engineer.
I would move that.
Second, Wilson.
Yes.
Christina Bonatakis.
Yes.
Dan Mancuso.
Yes.
Megan Massey.
Yes.
Wilson Beebe.
Yes.
Itzel Hernandez.
Yes.
Frederick Stone.
Yes.
Brian Barnigan.
Yes. You're welcome. Well deserved. Shawna, do we really need newspapers in the 21st century?
Yes,
I mean, this is so ridiculous.
yes. Asbury Press, Star Ledger, and.
No, we don't do the Star Ledger anymore, do we?
Just in case, if.
Oh,
You have to have two, the statutes requires two.
waste.
Or behind.
Okay, so I'll begrudgingly suggest the Asbury Park Press the 2 times, and if necessary, the Star Ledger, which I can't believe
They're
they're
the
still in
most
business.
expensive ones out of-
Oh,
But that's for the last minute people that.
would anyone like to second that ridiculous motion?
Second.
Christina Bonatakis,
Yes.
Dan Mancuso,
Yes.
Megan Massey,
Yes.
Wilson Bibi,
Yes.
Itzel Hernandez.
Yes.
Frederick Stone,
Yes.
Brian Fernigan.
Yes. Who, do we use Kevin for conflict?
Yes.
I'll happily make a motion for Kevin Kennedy to be our conflict board professional. And if someone,
By the way, on the conflict for the Board of Adjustment.
okay, so that's nice. Would someone like to second that?
Second.
Christina Bonatakis.
Yes.
Dan Mancuso,
Yes.
Megan Massey,
Yes.
Wilson Bibi, Itzel Hernandez.
Yes.
Frederick Stone,
Yes.
Brian Fernigan.
Yes. We sent around the calendar for this year a while we've had. Does anyone have any questions, any suggested changes, any problems with the calendar? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the 2024 board meeting calendar as it exists now. Is there a second? And we can do an all in favor on this, all in favor? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. We have the meeting minutes of December 18th. Were there any additions, corrections, or anything else you want to say about that? I'm sure you all studied them closely. I'll make a motion to approve the meetings of December 18th, the minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Any abstentions? Thank you. We have the resolution for 199 Riverside Avenue, Block 1, Lot 1.
That's going to be.
We're gonna do it at once here.
Here's on my agenda. Cross it off.
Somebody was sick.
Okay, so we'll do that next. So 156 West Front Street, Mike,
We're gonna do them next week.
that's next time too, Mike.
No, Mike, remember, we're supposed to have the discussion
What are we gonna talk?
about 156 West Front, so remember, for the board,
But when is the next meeting?
the next meeting is
February.
February, and then a special meeting.
Oh, we're not doing the special?
We are, but that's just for that thing.
That's just for
All
the,
right, I thought we could put it on there.
put the resolution if we decide what we want.
Yeah, we could put the resolutions on that.
Well, why don't you give us a rundown on 156, why there's a question, Shauna? Let's just discuss it.
So, for those who remember, I think we're here at the July 17th meeting. It was on 156 West Front Street. They are the cannabis, retailer. They came to us for conditional, use approval and site plan approval. They provided all their testimony and they were about to be finished. But based on the comments, they decided to come back to request to come back to the board, to make a few adjustments. But they were completely finished with all testimony and we were about to vote. They asked to be carried.
Of the public hearing had actually been closed and there was commentary by the board.
Yeah.
As to the application, but nobody made a motion to approve or deny it.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
So then, we made a motion to carry the application to the September 18th meeting.
Their request, because they thought they might be addressing some of the
Yeah.
commentaries that were being negative commentary.
We received, my office received a letter from them on September 12th requesting to withdraw the application without prejudice.
Without prejudice is what bothers me.
Right.
Go ahead.
We didn't act on that, at that time. And then on October 5th, our office then received another correspondence saying that they'd like to rescind the withdrawal. Because they plan to revise plans and submit for us, and they would renotice, reappear, do everything. As of that date, we have not received anything from them. And we have even sent a correspondent on behalf of, well, our board attorney sent a correspondent on October 11th. Stating that we couldn't confirm whether or not we want to accept their request of withdrawing their withdrawal. Because they need to submit the documents so that myself, the board engineer, the board attorney, we could all take a look at it to see if it was a new application or if this was a continuance. Nothing was submitted as of that date, up until now. So I'm asking board that some action be taken on this application. Just because it's lingering on, it's been 2 months.
It's a legal mess what he's pulled here.
Brian,
Oops, yeah, that's right. It's a legal mess. And the reason it's a legal mess is he withdrew without prejudice. Well, he had no right to withdraw without prejudice. He could withdraw his application. But that means that he can now hold that presentation and come back again and again and again, because there'll be no res judicata. So Dan and I talked about this, whether we should actually gone on and vote and it looked like it was going to be turned down because the lot was so small. But I don't know what they're doing. We wrote them and asked them to do something and they didn't. We could turn, I hate to just to say, well, we always can turn it down for failure to prosecute the application. But the question is, with prejudice, without prejudice, because we never took a vote. It's a mess. I wish I had an easy answer.
So our choice is to accept their withdrawal with prejudice, with or without. We could choose either one.
I don't know about that, no.
It's without prejudice.
So we can either withdraw without prejudice,
Yeah.
or we can we can vote. And I agree with you. I believe the board was leaning towards denying the application. And then it truly is done. Not that they
It's done
can't,
that he can't come back with a substantially different application, but that application is dead.
right, so he could come back with a substantially different application.
On the other hand, do we kick a sleeping dog?
So the choice is we leave it, we withdraw it with prejudice, meaning they could come back with that application with minor changes and ask again. Or we could deny it, kill it completely. And if they want to come back, they have to come back with substantial changes, like buying a neighbor property to overcome some of the objections of the lot size. Would there be anything else they could do that would be considered substantial?
That was the biggest problem because it affected everything in their circulation, backing up cars out of the thing. It was, the site didn't work. It wasn't a matter that nobody liked what they were doing. The site didn't work for anything. And it was, as you pointed out, it was a residential building and use in operation.
And not that if they bought the neighbor property, that would solve all their problems. The board might still consider the traffic movements, the turning in and out, the radius is still to be an issue. There could still be variances that the board might not be happy with, but buying the neighboring property would be considered a substantial change and they could come back. Yes. Does anybody have any questions or comments or ideas about this?
Did Sean say that they withdrew their withdrawal?
That's right. By letter.
By letter, they requested that we accept their withdrawal to the.
We took no action on any of this.
No, I understand that, but so where does that leave us with their withdrawal of their withdrawal?
But you tell me.
Yeah, I mean, can we just ignore it? And
Of course.
Well, if we wanted to ignore their withdrawal and vote on the application tonight, can we do that having not noticed?
No, I wouldn't do it. I would have to tell them we're gonna.
can we give them a date certain by which they have to return with?
Do that?
what they have on the table so that we can.
And we can say we can dismiss it, yes.
Or we could simply notice that we're gonna take action one way or another. And they either show up or they don't. By us noticing this application, we could, if we chose to, take action to vote on the,
Yes, we could.
as per everything.
But that's kicking the dog, right?
Exactly.
What do you think we should do, Sean?
My recommendation is to act on withdrawal.
As in accept it or don't accept it?
Exactly.
I have no problem with that.
And do you have a problem with accepting the withdrawal and ignoring the withdrawal of the withdrawal?
We could write them back and said you never did anything and that you withdrew and no, we're closing our file.
But then don't they have the letter saying that won't they cite the letter that they wrote withdrawing their withdrawal?
Yeah. And we also wrote to us, but if you're gonna withdraw, whether you're going to be able to, basically that letter says that if you're going to bring back something, we want to see it first to determine whether it was, quote, a new application
Yes.
or an amendment to the application. So we didn't accept the withdrawal of the withdrawal.
Is everyone okay with us having Mike send them that letter,
What letter?
telling them they need to do something?
What,
So we're gonna kick the dog.
Or do you just want to, do you think we should just accept the withdrawal? It's really accept the withdrawal.
I
Or
think
tell
we
them they
could
need.
write a letter and simply said then I don't think we have to worry about the raised judicata, because there's no way that that application was gonna be approved
I agree,
without being totally.
as it was, yes, I agree.
Okay. So then we're really not gaining anything by having a vote denying it and trying to play the game of raised judicata. Everybody understands what I mean by raised judicata. It means once it's been decided, it's decided and it's. So the answer is probably a letter that Shauna recommends. That I said, we'll recite all this history and say that we are going to put the matter on agenda for the next meeting. And it's going to be that you never brought us anything else. So your attempt to withdraw the withdrawal is rejected. And the application has been withdrawn, and that's the end of it.
Everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
give them,
I remember what
have
I
some hearing.
said.
That's why we're recording everything you're saying.
If the last thing we heard from them was October, what do they think the current status is?
The first problem is that they lost a spot. They're the one potential, there could have been one potential because the three are filled. And now there's somebody ahead of them. They lost their spot in
We
line.
haven't heard from them since the withdrawal of the withdrawal letter.
Yeah, we haven't heard.
So we don't know what they want.
So they said in their letter, this is the October 5th letter. We previously wrote to you on behalf of the applicant, Plug Naturals LLC, seeking to withdraw without prejudice application, and they say the application number. The application is in the process of revising, the applicant is in the process of revising its plan in a manner that we believe will fully address each and every one of the planning board's statements and concerns. In that regard, we would like to rescind our request to withdraw the application, submit revised plans, renotice, and reappear before your planning board. Please confirm receipt of this letter and confirm that that application will not be withdrawn. We responded on October 11th. This was Mr. Lexstein. I'm responding to your October 5th letter concerning the withdrawal of your withdrawal. On behalf of the board, I cannot confirm that your request will be accepted by them. I would suggest that you, in the meantime, forward a copy of the revised plans and other supporting documents to the planning and zoning office indicating the changes that have been made. It is hard for me to comment on whether or not you addressed all of the board's concerns, since the board did not complete its commentary and did not discuss the matter with a motion pending. This may become important in determining whether or not your new application is a new application or an amended to the original. However, I will recommend to the board that a date for a hearing not be set until the zoning officer and board engineer have an opportunity to review and comment on the changes.
And regardless of what they do, it's going to be a substantially different application if they are going to address all of our concerns. You know, they're not gonna, widen the driveway and solve all their problems, not to mention there's 2 inlets for drainage from the county at the edge of their driveway. So it's gotta be that they're gonna buy the neighboring property, in my mind. It's gotta be. If not, they have no shot, I think, of solving any of our concerns. So either way, they're gonna come back with a substantially different application,
If they come back,
if they come back.
because they're now
Right.
one further back.
Yes, from a cannabis.
There's a lot of
license.
money to invest in buying a piece of property
Yes,
there and then hope that in the next 20 years you get a shot at it.
and just so everyone knows, the fact whether there are licenses available or not in town have nothing to do with an application coming to this board. Our job is to act one way or another on an application. We have nothing to do with licenses. If 10 people want to come here and get approval, we focus on the planning and zoning aspect of it, has nothing to do with licenses. So I don't care how many people come. It's up to the mayor and council. They've said they've got a number of licenses and that's it. This one is now even further behind. But that has nothing to do with whether or not we act. So I'm okay with sending that letter. And let's see what they say, because I think they're gonna have to renotice. I don't care if it's a brand new application or a substantially different application. It's gonna be a big change if they come back. So if everybody's okay, we'll do that. Okay. Lastly, just to comment on the referral from the mayor and council for the area in need around the train station. I got several calls this week from people wanting to know where we are on this. The town is in the very infancy of this. We have a professional that did our master plan that is going to begin an investigation on this. And we're weeks, if not months away from a proper public hearing, and we're not doing anything until that first investigation comes back from the professionals, BFJ, who did our master plan. So that's kind of where we are with it. We have nothing to really talk about or go over yet. And, we're going to make sure that the public is very involved in that. There'll be plenty of notice for those meetings. And when that initial investigation comes, it will be posted on the municipal website. Everyone will have plenty of time to review it before we even begin to talk about taking any action at all, or what action we end up taking if we do on those properties in that area. So no rush. Several people are like, oh my God, why aren't you doing anything? Well, there's nothing we can do until we get that first investigation from our professionals. So if no one has any other questions, I lost the bet with my wife already, so I'd be home by 7:20.
We have a special meeting February 16th at 4 p.m.
Okay.
Zoom.
It's just Zoom,
January 16th.
January 16th, and that's just to codify the historic preservation.
Yes, there was a few, a sentence missing, that relates back to the historic preservation element, saying that it still stands, the 2008, I believe, historic preservation element, that it still stands within this, revised 2023, master plan, and it's just for this board, since the master plan is your document, to vote on it, so that it kind of provides the historic preservation commission and the ordinance, the historic preservation ordinance, which is being updated and will be coming before this board for consistency. So it's just to make sure all of that is something,
And you'll get a copy of that to review.
and it's in that memo I dropped in.
Is it?
Yes,
Okay, I believe you. It's in the invite for the Zoom meeting?
yes.
Oh, okay, I haven't even looked at that yet. I just threw it on my calendar.
Send it again for next week.
What?
I didn't get that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
All right, I will
I thought I
resend
got
the Zoom invite.
Yes. So our next meeting is February 5th with nothing further for the group, but make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.